and welcome. This is your Wish Upon a Star Lunar Horoscope for Wednesday, May 26, 2021. Luna will be voyaging through the sign of Sagittarius the Archer, bringing autonomy, sovereignty, also brilliance. The full flower moon occurs while transiting the 20th mansion of the moon at 11:14 a.m. We're using universal time coordinated and we're using tropical astrology. So again, this is the full flower moon. And Luna's activation of lunar mansion number 20 during a full moon at 100% light is potent for completing projective magic rituals and starting plans for receptive magic spells. Mansion of the moon number 20 is in effect from the morning on May 26th at 9:25 a.m. until the rather early in the morning on the 27th of May at 5:47 a.m. So from the 26th of May at 9:25 in the morning to the 27th of May at 5:47 in the morning, that's when this lunar mansion is going to occur, and that's number 20. Now with the full moon occurring in Sagittarius at 11:14 a.m., lunar mansion number 20 is magically activated at the exact time of the full flower moon in the sign of Sagittarius. Keep in mind now that a blood moon is also something that occurs during a total lunar eclipse. So this is a flower moon, but you might hear some people call it a blood moon. And you might hear a blood moon being from a different month, but this isn't that type of a blood moon. This is a flower moon. That's the established month, May, for a flower moon. And although there is a blood moon that in some cultures is for a specific month, that's not the case here. You might hear May 2021 moon being called the blood moon because there's going to be a total lunar eclipse on this full flower moon. So again, it's a full flower moon and it's a total lunar eclipse. Therefore, it's also what we would call traditionally as not with the month, but anytime a total lunar eclipse occurs, it's called a blood moon, because in many biblical references, they say that the moon turns like red as blood. And that's because when there's a total eclipse of the moon, it does turn red. I've seen a lot of them, and it does turn very red. So it's really quite superb if you can see it. It's really beautiful to look at, this total lunar eclipse. And you're going to be able to see this event if the skies are visible, that is, if they're clear. And you're going to be able to see this total lunar eclipse, this full flower moon with the eclipse going on in southeastern Asia, also Australia, and the western portions of both the United States and South America in those western portions. Now, moon magic is affected by a total lunar eclipse in that during such an event, the full moon's projective power becomes eclipsed, and receptive then commences turning promptly back to projective magic energies when the occurrence is finished. So understand that, how it's going to be different than a normal magical, if you're going to do some magic. So what your normal magic would be on a full moon, it's going to be slightly different. It's going to happen quicker. Because normally on a full moon, again, we go from you can complete your projective magic rituals and begin receptive magic spells on a full moon, because it's the turning point. But in this case, you're going to have the full moon, and then it's going to eclipse, and then it's going to come back full, and then it's going to wane. So you're going to have that process is going to be accentuated and interrupted. So just understand you can use those energies for very specific frequencies if you like. But remember, it's going to be a projective or receptive energy, and those are the frequencies you're going to utilize. Now, Luna will be in Sagittarius from 4 degrees 17 minutes 9 seconds to Sagittarius 17 degrees, 8 minutes, and 34 seconds. These are the margins according to Abraham. The stars to wish upon inside the 20th mansion of the moon, Al-Na'am, are named Ascella and Nunki, that are the beam of the crossbow wielded by the hunting centaur according to Warnock. Ask the angel of Zeta Sagittarii and Sigma Sagittarii, who is named Kyriel, to make you capture all that you hunt and to make them come to you at once. Now remember that the stars Ascella and Nunki are also called Zeta Sagittarii and Sigma Sagittarii respectively. And we have a blog in the description box if you want to check that out and check how they're spelled and all of that. And if you want to go back and see specifically what the names of the stars are. And so again, if you ask the angel Kyriel for this mansion, what you would ask for is to make you and help you capture all that you hunt and make that happen, and to make them come to you at once. Now, sorceresses and sorcerers use the image of an armed half man, half horse, or a man riding upon a horse, to subdue feral creatures, to fortify internment centers, to devastate the riches of specific communities, and to force a specific man of their choosing to arrive at a precise location, according to Agrippa. Where Warnock describes this mansion's name as Al-Na'am, Agrippa reveals Abnahaya as its moniker. Agrippa also discloses that for the purpose of obtaining success in the stalking and killing of untamed beasts, magicians formed an emblem of a creature having the head and upper body of a man and the lower body and legs of a horse, carrying a bow and arrow made from the alchemical metal of tin. Magicians would then add aroma to the icon using a wolf's head. In ancient days, a wolf's life force was known to overpower that of a horse, and to also overpower other animals. The wolf's head would cause a horse or other creature to become weary and to become fatigued. According to Kabbalistic lore, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Sagittarius' birthstone is turquoise. Rosaries and amulets using turquoise for Sagittarius are magically potent for this praxis. Kabbalistic and alchemical planetary associations in this instance of a waning it's a total lunar eclipse, and it's also it's a total lunar eclipse, and it's a full flower moon. It's a full flower moon. And this is going to be, yes, in Sagittarius. And while transiting through lunar mansion number 20, could be utilized with perfumes, essential oils, herbs, or flowers, as well as also colors. So you can use colors and herbs that associate with Sagittarius as well. We're going to be focusing for this full flower moon, and the total lunar eclipse, we're going to be focusing on the turquoise, which is the birthstone for Sagittarius. Also, we're going to be focusing on the metal to be associated with Sagittarius, and also with Jupiter, and also with the stars Ascella and Nunki. And so we're going to tell you about those now. We're going to go over that with you. Now, planetary alchemical metals in this case would indicate tin for Jupiter. Tin is practical and workable for this operation. Regarding the Sagittarius birthstone of turquoise, this could be used, the turquoise could be used for an amulet, talisman, as well as beads for rosaries. Jupiter's associated metal of tin could be used for the forming of a rosary chain, for jewelry settings, or for amulet bases as well. It's important to note here that according to Vivian Irwood Robson, author of the book The Fixed Stars and Constellations in Astrology, the Greek astronomer Ptolemy attributes the stars, which are located in the waist of the stalking half man, half horse, to be akin to Jupiter, the planet Jupiter. The star Ascella is located under the axilla or armpit of the left arm that holds the bow of Sagittarius, the archer. Now, Ptolemy also attributes the stars which are located within close proximity to the hunting centaur's right hand, which is clasping the arrow, as being attributed to Jupiter and Mars in regard to the planetary nature of this area of the constellation of Sagittarius. The star Nunki is located in the portion of the arrow which is just beyond the right hand of the Sagittary, which is pulling back the bow about to be released in the pursuit of wild game on the hunt. This is in contrast to other portions of the constellation of the Archer where Ptolemy assigns differing planetary aspects. It's worth restating here that Agrippa reveals tin as the metal of choice to be used in the construction of an insignia bearing the image of a hunting centaur wielding a bow and arrow. Since tin is the alchemical metal analogous to the constellation of Sagittarius's ruler of Jupiter, and is also mentioned by Ptolemy as being associated with both the stars Ascella and Nunki, tin is an excellent choice for use as a rosary chain, an amulet bezel, or for the setting of magical jewelry. A rosary made of turquoise beads and a tin chain would be a potent magical talisman for mansion of the moon Al-Na'am, also called Abnahea. Now keep in mind that the number assigned to each mansion of the moon may vary reliant upon the cultural and the astrological attributes of the system which is being used. What pinpoints the exact lunar mansion to which we are referring is made clear by the use of the star or stars to be wished upon, as well as by the name of the indicated mansion of the moon. So it would be the stars of, in this case, Ascella and Nunki, and in this case, by the names of Na'am or Abnahea. Okay, now other Kabbalistic correspondences for lunar mansion number 23 are as follows. The moon in Sagittarius provides qualities of independence, cheerfulness, and unpredictability. The archer also moves into an exploration where the archer loves to not only explore but also to go on voyages on just a whim, or whenever she or he so desires. Planetary archangel for Luna or the moon is Gabriel. God is my strength, power of God, and a messenger of God. Zodiac angel for Sagittarius the archer is Adnachiel, whose divine tone is I perceive. The tarot card for Luna or the moon is the high priestess. And this is, that's temperance for Sagittarius. But for Luna or for the moon, we'll show that one to you first. Let me back up here a minute. The reason we want to show you this card here first is because we want to talk to you about the zodiac angel. Excuse me, that's what we're trying to do. The zodiac angel for Sagittarius is Adnachiel, whose divine tone is I perceive. Now the tarot card that is associated with Sagittarius is Temperance, which is the angel which holds 2 cups, pouring divine frequencies and water currents between the 2 cups, and with 1 foot in water and 1 foot on the land, with a sun insignia on a wearing a crown upon the head, and also a triangle upon the chest, because the sun also relates to the masculine symbol of the upward pointing triangle, which is the masculine symbol. So that's Temperance card, which again, the zodiac angel for Sagittarius, Adnachiel, divine tone, I perceive, and the Temperance card is associated with Sagittarius particularly. Now the Western array musical note for the sign of Sagittarius, the archer, is F. I'd like to play that for you now on our tuning fork. that's the healing note for Sagittarius. Now, the tarot card for the moon or Luna is the High Priestess card. The High Priestess sits between the pillars of Joachim and Boaz, and she is wearing a triple lunar goddess crown upon her head. She has the waters of life flowing, the waters of God of life flowing over her and into the receptive crescent moon at her feet. She has the pomegranates behind her head. She has a cross on her chest and a Torah scroll in her hand. The Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch. So it's the Torah scroll in her hand. Now, she also is associated with, this card is associated with the Hebrew letter Gimel. Also associated with the moon. Gimel means camel. It is the path to the higher self, and it is the path to the top supernal sephira of Kether, which means crown. It is also associated with the crown chakra, the crown chakra. Now, another correspondence you can get is that you can use this card. All tarot cards are actually keys, because if you learn the associations of the tarot cards in pictorial form, you also unlock the key to the Bible, which is a written text. So you unlock the scriptures with the pictures and with the information that you've learned by the flashcards of the tarot cards, Torah and Tarot. This is the key. The Bible is the lock. You unlock the Bible with the key of the tarot card, and the whole Kabbalah or Kabbalah becomes unlocked to you. Now you go to Psalm 119, and in Psalm 119 you will find in many, not all, but in many Bibles, the Hebrew letters, which are all 22 Hebrew letters, of which there are 22 trump cards in most tarot decks, 22 trump cards. And sometimes the 0 is counted as one of them. So what you want to do is go to the third one, Aleph, Beth, Gimel, and that's the treasure that you will get when you use this key to unlock the lock of the Bible. That's the treasure that you will get. Psalm 119, look under Gimel. Aleph, Beth, Gimel. Okay. Now, the Western Array musical note for the moon or Luna is also F. And that's the healing note. The information that was that we've given you in the document that's attached in the description box in the blog, and also in this video, is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I've committed to memory. And the Rosicrucians teach Christian Kabbalah as opposed to Hebrew Kabbalah, which other people teach, which it's great to learn both. I enjoy learning both because Christians use both the Old Testament and the New Testament, whereas in Hebrew Kabbalah they're mostly using the Zohar and the Torah and probably the Tanakh and some of the other books probably as well. And the Zohar is especially important in studying Hebrew Kabbalah. I've studied both, but Christian Kabbalah is very helpful if you're a Christian, which I am Catholic. And I'm Catholic, and so I'm a Christian Kabbalist, and I'm a Rosicrucian. Therefore, studying Christian Kabbalah is very helpful to me. Now, much of the information about star magic was also taught to me through an adjacent German pagan coven, which had established satellite covens throughout the world. I was in an American satellite or branch of that coven. And I began writing a book based upon these extremely important teachings in 1988, which I've entitled to be my Star Magic Grimoire. Now, I have reference books that I have referenced, that it's in the description box with the page numbers. I'm going to give you the reference books now that have a lot of important information on star magic. If you want to sort of look it up for yourself, or you want to just work it out on your own, whatever. These are really helpful books. The first book to recommend is Mansions of the Moon, a Lunar Zodiac for Astrology and Magic, second edition with 2019 to 2033 Mansion Ephemeris, written by Christopher Warnock, illustrated by Nigel Jackson, published by Renaissance Astrology in 2019. 3 Books of Occult Philosophy is the second book. Llewellyn's Sourcebook series, authored by Henry Cornelius Agrippa of Nettisham in 1533, translated by James Freak in 1650, edited and annotated by Donald Tyson in 1993, published in 2000 by Llewellyn Publications. I have a lot of Donald Tyson's books, and I'll be going over some teachings from his books in the future, and I'll be referencing his book, because they're really good books. So I'd like to share those with you someday in the future. Now, the third book I'd like to recommend is The Fixed Stars and Constellations in Astrology, authored by Vivian E. Robson. That's Vivian Irwood Robson. Vivian E. Robson, Bachelor of Science in 1923, published by American Federation of Astrologers, Inc., cover design by Jack Capola, again, 1923. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again. See you soon.